The town slept. A stillness heavy and complete blanketed the houses and streets. Moonlight painted the scene silver, an unnatural gleam on everything. It was the kind of quiet that felt wrong, like holding your breath for too long, too still, waiting. This was before the whispers started, before sleep became the enemy, before the serpent arrived. It was never seen clearly, not at first. A flicker of movement in the shadows, a glint of scales catching the moon's cold light. But rumors spread, whispers traveling faster than the wind. A creature of darkness, a serpent, sleek and silent, moving unseen. Its eyes, they said, held the chill of the grave, and something else, a hunger, vast and ancient. It was searching. It began subtly. Troubled sleep, vivid, disturbing dreams bleeding into waking hours. People would wake with a jolt, hearts pounding, the echoes of nightmares clinging to them like cobwebs, a feeling of something present. Then, the whispers. Faint at first, heard only in the stillness between sleep and waking. Slithering, sibilant whispers, cold against the eardrum. The serpent had found its way in. The dreams grew worse, each night more harrowing than the last. What began as fleeting moments of unease soon transformed into relentless, suffocating terror. Twisted, surreal landscapes populated by creatures of shadow and fear. These creatures, born from the darkest corners of the mind, roamed freely, their presence a constant reminder of the lurking dread. Familiar faces contorted into grotesque masks of malice. Friends and loved ones became unrecognizable, their features twisted into horrifying visages that haunted the dreamer's every step. The whispers wormed their way deeper, burrowing into the subconscious, unraveling the fabric of dreams. These sinister tendrils, like creeping vines, ensnared the mind, making escape impossible. Sleep, once a sanctuary, became a prison of terror. The bed, once a place of rest, now felt like a nightmarish cell, its dark, oppressive atmosphere suffocating the dreamer. People dreaded the coming of night, the inevitable slide into madness the serpent brought. The moonlight, once a symbol of tranquility, now cast long, eerie shadows that heightened their anxiety. The town held its breath, caught in the grip of a collective nightmare. Every corner, every alley seemed to whisper of the horrors that awaited, as if the very air was thick with fear and anticipation. The days were no better. Fear hung heavy in the air, a palpable presence. People moved through their lives with haunted eyes, their minds frayed, their sanity unraveling at the edges. The whispers followed them, a constant undercurrent of dread. Doctors were baffled. Scientists could offer no explanation. The serpent had woven its spell, a tapestry of terror woven from the nightmares of an entire town. And it was far from finished. Then came the night the screaming began. It was a night unlike any other, where the silence of the dark streets was shattered by a sound so horrifying, it seemed to pierce the very fabric of reality. Not the panicked cries of nightmares, but shrieks of pure, primal terror that echoed through the empty streets. These were not the cries of someone waking from a bad dream, but the desperate, soul-wrenching screams of those who had seen something beyond comprehension. The serpent, they realized, was no longer content with merely twisting dreams. It was taking something. It slithered through the shadows, unseen but felt. A presence that brought with it a sense of dread and despair. It was as if the very essence of fear had taken form and was now stalking the streets, replacing it with something else. something cold, something alien. The warmth of human emotion was being drained away, leaving behind a void that was filled with an unnatural, chilling presence. It was as if the serpent was replacing their very souls with something otherworldly, something that looked back from the eyes of their loved ones with a hunger that chilled the soul. The eyes, once filled with love and warmth, now reflected a predatory gleam, a hunger that was not of this world. It was as if the serpent had left a part of itself within them, a dark, insatiable hunger. The serpent wasn't just a nightmare, it was an invasion of the mind, the heart, and the soul. It was a force that sought to consume and replace, to turn the familiar into the alien. And as the night wore on, it became clear that this was only the beginning. The town is silent now, truly silent. The echoes of laughter and life have long since faded, leaving behind only the ghostly remnants of what once was. The streets, now empty, tell tales of a time when joy and sorrow walked hand in hand. The forgotten child's toy, lying abandoned in the street, is a haunting reminder of innocence lost. The moonlight still paints the streets silver, casting an ethereal glow on the deserted town. But there is no one left to dream, no one left to bask in its serene beauty. The silence is deafening, a stark contrast to the vibrant life that once filled these streets. The moon, a silent witness to the passage of time, watches over the empty town with a cold, indifferent gaze. The serpent, its hunger sated, for now, has moved on, leaving behind a shell of what was once a thriving community. The buildings, now abandoned, stand as silent sentinels, guarding the memories of a time when life flourished here. The streets, once bustling with activity, are now eerily quiet, a testament to the devastation left in the serpent's wake. But somewhere, in another town, under the cold gaze of the moon, something stirs in the shadows. The darkness, once a refuge, now hides something sinister. The shadows, once familiar, now seem to whisper secrets of impending doom. The town, unaware of the danger lurking in the darkness, continues its silent vigil under the moon's watchful eye. The whispers have begun again. They weave through the empty streets, carrying with them a sense of foreboding. The air is thick with tension, as if the town itself is holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable. The whispers, growing louder with each passing moment, hint at a darkness that is yet to come. Sound of static increasing in volume for 10 seconds, then cutting out abruptly. The static, a jarring interruption to the silence, signals the beginning of a new chapter in this eternal nightmare. The town, once again, finds itself at the mercy of forces beyond its control. The nightmare continues, unending, as the town remains trapped in its eternal cycle of silence and whispers.